All right, let's get the show on the road.
It's my shtick.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Oh.
Hello there. Hello.
Stop.
Whoa.
Give me like 30 seconds of pause. Just waiting for everyone to stop talking.
Matt, we don't want your ham, or I mean Canadian bacon. Just start to vote.
Oh, man.
Hey, P-Mill bacon's pretty good.
All right, I'm doing
we don't even eat that as our like form of bacon. We just have regular bacon. Anyway, let's get this show on the road. Hello and welcome to the Just Another Castle podcast. I'm your host Matt, and I'm rolling with it this week. Here's our gaming journalist Eli.
How's
it
going, everyone? Clay, pull yourself together, man.
That was Mike, which is our pro gamer who can talk now.
Wow, what a mess.
And the 8-bit retro man down in his hole in the corner is Unoclay.
That's all he's done is laugh.
Apparently he's doing some whispering nonsense.
Yeah,
but we're pretty sure he's here.
The sound clip didn't come through.
Just him laughing this week.
It's because I'm using my headset. I was just trying to put my headset near the computer so you could hear the sound clip. Forget it. What up?
This week we're trying out the Unoclay laugh track.
Who doesn't know how the headset works?
Yeah, no. I the headset works fine, but I can't bridge in like web tabs into Skype on my tablet. So it's like, it's just a pain in the butt. So what up, guys? It's good to talk to you. We were laughing our heads off because we were just talking about career counseling and Mike and everything else on this planet. So it's good therapy for me because I was having a rough work day all of a sudden here at the end of the day.
All right. Seems like a pretty good start to a podcast. Great start. This will be the last podcast for the year. We'll be back sometime in January. I don't know when. I guess the first week depends on whatever's going on with people's schedules. Whatever. We'll talk about what we've been playing this week. I've been super busy, but I've started the new Zelda DLC pack. I got about, I don't even know how long into it. Should I explain how it works so far? I've only played it for maybe an hour.
I'm gonna tune out if you do, but I'm happy for the listeners to hear a little bit about it. So
sure.
I might.
It's not like any. Well, yeah. I was gonna say it's not really story spoilers because it didn't get to any cutscenes, but I'm pretty sure you'll think anything's a spoiler. Not to be mean, but
I don't even want to know if Link's in it. I don't even want to know if Link's in it. I'm just saying. So, all right, yeah, I'm gonna pull out for a second.
Cool. So, basically, you get this one-hit ultimate weapon, and how it works is you have 4 different camps in the Great Plateau, and you have to go there and defeat all the enemies. And this one-hit weapon you can use, it's twice in a row, and then it takes time to charge up. But the interesting thing is you always have 1 unit of health, or a quarter heart of health, and you can't use any healing potions or anything. I ate some food, and it just automatically went back down. So you're always one step away from being killed, which is pretty cool. It also makes swarms of anything dangerous, like swarms of bats. Wouldn't really be much of a problem before, but now because it's this giant ball of pain, I just got trampled at one point. I was fighting in the forest, and then out of nowhere I was in a tree, and a bunch of bats flew right up into me, and I died. So it's crazy, but it's pretty cool so far. I don't know how much content there is in this one, because I know there's cutscenes and whatnot. There's Zelda in some snowy area, but the first, I guess, maybe it's the first part of this DLC. It's just in the Great Plateau, so I guess we'll see. Or I guess I'll see if it goes, or how much further it goes, because there's no snow in the Great Plateau. It's all grass. So yeah, it seems pretty cool. I wish the apparently when you beat the DLC you get the bike. I kind of wish you could get that before, but it seems like a cool reward.
I seen one picture of the bike. Yeah. I was what was that? Yeah, so that's part of DLC dose.
Yeah.
So DLC dose is kind of an episode thing. You're saying?
Yeah, I know there's some story to it because they've showed like short clips of cutscenes, but I don't know what else, how much there is to it. Oh, right, and after you beat like one enemy camp, a new shrine appears at that spot. So there's at least 4 enemy camps and 4 shrines. There's probably more than that. I don't know how much. Hopefully it's worth it because I basically bought the whole season just for that. I'll probably try like some of the other stuff. But
what's how much does it cost for both again?
It's like $20 or $25, something like that.
Okay,
but
that's not bad.
Yeah. It's fun to get back into it. I'm glad I didn't bother with the first pack because now I have like more to do.
You only bought part 2, or you bought both together?
Well, I mean, you have to buy it together. You can't. But I mean, like when the first part released, I didn't buy it because I was like, "This is."
Oh, okay, yeah. See, I didn't buy any of it either. I was gonna buy them both too. Okay.
Yeah. So I waited for the second part, and now it's like, I finished the game in like May. So it's been like, I don't know, 6 or 7 months since I played it. So it's like, oh yeah, this is cool to get back into. Jumping and shooting.
Hey, I'm back.
Cool.
I'm picking up a tone. I just, without knowing the spoilers of what it's about, I'm picking up a tone of that you might be sounding a little dissatisfied with it. Am I picking up correctly with no spoilers? Like that it maybe the DLC isn't worth it in your opinion, or it's only worth it as considered as a whole package?
No, I was just saying like I didn't buy the first pack of the DLC when it came out, so it's kind of nice because now it's like, you have a bit more things to do, and it's also to give it like a nice break.
Okay. So I was just concerned.
Something was wrong. I want to hear it.
No, I said, well, you sensed wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Because the only thing I'm really interested in is like the stuff that's in the latest update. I didn't really care about most of the rest of it except for maybe the map tracker. And so I haven't bought it yet either because I'm not even finished with the main campaign yet. So it's like I'm hoping you weren't hinting that the newest update is a little lackluster.
Well, the thing is, I don't know how far it goes because I've only started it like yesterday and I only played for like an hour. And what it's telling me to do so far, I don't think is like the end of it because they show in a couple of trailers that there's other cutscenes and the places where these cutscenes take place aren't in any of the first areas it tells me to go. So there has to be more than what I'm seeing.
Okay, cool. That's enough. I didn't want to make you repeat yourself. It just was like I was picking up a tone of like maybe the news, the buried lead, as they say, is that it's not that good or something like that. I
haven't read up on it, so because I don't want to know.
Gotcha.
I haven't seen average scores for it anyway. Like nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
Right. Something like the new Star Wars. Oh, burn! Like that's what I'm hearing.
Don't say anything.
Yeah, I didn't want to see that trash.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
I didn't even look up review trailers.
Okay.
Was El Trasho. Anyway.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Never mind. No spoilers. I respect no spoilers. All right. No problem. Cool. Nice. Sorry. All right. Well, thanks for that update.
Cool. That's pretty much it. Unless you have questions, we can move on.
I asked mine.
Cool. Let's move on.
I want to buy it at some point. Keep us updated on whether you think it's a good value in the end, because I do want to finish Zelda A eventually, and B, I want to probably get the DLC. I imagine. I mean, like, I'm not a huge fan of paying for DLC, but I'm tentatively interested in this. If you end up feeling it worth it with it in mind that the main edition, this December update, is what I was really looking at, and why I was holding out. That I was like, well, that sounds like something awesome once I'm finished with the game, So, cool.
All right, and so while we move on to Eli, what have you been able to play anything? Both you and Mike have had like finals term or exams.
Yeah, this week. I've been pretty busy, so I haven't had a ton of time to play very much. However, I did have Xenoblade 2 arrive, so I played literally just the first hour, and I played like 2 hours, and maybe an hour and a half of it was cutscenes. So I'm not really at a state yet where I can get a lot of input. Of it.
God.
But I am traveling home tomorrow, so I'll have time to play. For next week, I'll probably have further expanded thoughts. So other than that, I don't really have much to add. Also, I have like a list of games I want to play over break, so I'm also going to get to like Wolfenstein, Assassin's Creed. Yeah, and I already talked about South Park, which I beat.
Yeah. You gotta tell me how Assassin's Creed Origins is, because that game looks pretty good.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Matt, file this into the for a slow week.
It's not that.
We need to have like a game show or something where we just like throw titles of games at Mike, and he just has to like respond within 3 seconds of a funny title. Like that we just like
That's a lot of pressure on me, right?
For slow week, put it in the file for a slow week where it's like the Mike game show. Like, and we could make a game out of it somehow, because I could never beat him. I could never think of the most insulting titles of games as he does. But I love hearing him. The Assassin's Creed.
I don't even think. I just say it. You put the pressure on me, man.
No, it's funny, Unoclay, that you bring that up. Today, I was actually thinking of maybe I should bring up a game where it's what hasn't Mike said, and I bring up like 3 or 4 different quotes that are insulting, and you have to guess which one he hasn't said.
That would be so much work. You'd have to go through like all the archives to find real quotes versus like because it's basically he said it all. It's going to be really hard to narrow it down. Like that's an amazing game though. What hasn't Mike said? It's like and it's just all trick questions. It's like they were all real. They were all real. Everything in this last quote was real.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
What was the lie? What wasn't a lie? Kind of thing.
Mike, if you want this to happen, you have to volunteer to help Matt go through the archives.
Oh my god!
To set all the shit. Like you have to go through and like find.
Yo, Matt has to go full librarian to go through.
Man, we need like an obsessive listener who wants to be our archivist and like write.
He's like, yeah, don't you remember when Mike said episode 100 how Miyamoto is a complete moron?
Oh my god, that's great. That's a funny
Isn't
idea.
That every episode?
Yeah.
That's sick. All right, Eli. So you played nothing, man. Nothing. You played Xenoblade. You said, and
I played a little bit of Xenoblade. It's just I've been busy finishing out the school semester. Also, I mean, I've been playing a little bit as a set of PS4 games, Assassin's Creed, Wolfenstein, but not enough to where I can really speak on it.
So
go ahead. Sorry.
Go?
No, go ahead, please.
Right. So since you watched like an hour and a half of cutscenes or whatever it was, I've seen some people throw some videos out on Twitter of like the voice acting and whatnot. What do you think of it? Because it seems like it's a bit jarring.
Terrible.
Like either the pacing isn't right or the
voice
is
okay.
weird.
So the voice acting itself isn't that bad, but it's not synced up that well or lined up or anything like that. So yeah, it's a little bit strange, and definitely takes you a little bit out of the experience, but doesn't bother me too much, I guess. I mean, I've never been a techie, and like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 doesn't really even look that great, so it's never been something I've concerned myself with. But yeah, I mean, there are definitely issues with the voice acting matching up. Voice acting itself isn't too bad for most of the characters.
Yeah, nice. I've heard that, and I don't spend as much time in the Twitter, Facebook universe as you guys seem to a little bit. Not that you're hardcore or anything, but like I've gotten wind of that like there's a lot of talking in this game, and it's like kind of comical dialogue, like just some weird comments I've seen around the internet in the last couple of days. On a scale of like 1 to 10, how bad would I hate this game? Because I hate cutscenes, I hate dialogue, I hate anything in a game when you're not doing something. I hate narrative. For
the first 2 hours, you'd probably be at a solid 9.
9 of 8. The 9 of 8. Yeah.
I mean, 3/4 of it was cutscenes for the first 2 hours, so I can't imagine that's something you'd really want.
Oh, shoot me now! My God. Yeah.
Next up, plays a Kojima game.
Oh no!
You have to wait for the loading screens install the game on Metal Gear Solid 4.
I hear you there. Sorry, man.
I did though on 3DS there was a sale for Rhythm Heaven. It was only $15.
Oh, nice.
So I went ahead and downloaded that. Haven't played it yet, but I've downloaded it because it was a half off. And also
original. The original game.
3DS. The 3DS version.
3DS, right.
What was it? Rhythm Heaven.
Mega Mix.
Fever? Rhythm Heaven. Mega Mix.
Yeah.
That's
the collection.
Yeah. So I've played the other one, so I like the series. And then you know what? I think, Mike, you've played the Professor Layton games, right?
Yeah, I played a few.
I played them.
Yeah, so I don't know if you picked up the latest one, but I'm also considering picking up this Lady Layton game.
Oh, dude, I want to get that too, man.
Yeah.
I've been holding off. But yeah, I do.
I haven't heard. Nobody's heard of anything. They didn't know reviews or anything like that, or flying around the web. I was so surprised.
Wasn't it iOS only though?
No, iOS and 3DS.
Oh, I didn't even know it came to 3DS.
They like shit that game out. So I think
Is it already out?
Yeah, it's out.
Yeah.
It came out like a month ago.
I heard
gosh.
it okay. I think the only thing I know about it is like it's all like everyone sucks but Lady Layton kind of thing. Like the cast is unmemorable. That's what they were saying. Like it doesn't compare to like Layton. Like I don't know. It just isn't as memorable. You know what I mean?
What, it doesn't have a wimpy little boy whining about like puzzles and stuff like that? Oh man.
Yeah,
not memorable.
And then they
The
try to make
review
up
top
some
lines I
excuse.
saw kind of agreed that it wasn't as memorable, but still got solid reviews because the puzzles were good. So I don't know. I usually really like Layton games, not just because the puzzles, because I think the stories are actually good too.
Sure.
So I don't know if I'll pick it up, but I was interested.
I'm refusing to play this one. I don't need no women in my Layton games.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Ty. Right?
I'm kidding, of course, because like it's not like I thought that the original character, that whiny little brat like that hangs around with Layton, was like any kind of great character. And it's like, oh no, Professor, what are we gonna do? It's tea time. Oh no, and it's like, well, here's a puzzle I just thought of, and you're like, what? You just thought of a puzzle? That doesn't even make sense. No, I like those games. Yeah, I like those games. They're great.
This is weird that there's not like a whole lot of reviews, because it was a pretty big series, and I remember pretty much put it at that. It's a pretty big series, so I don't see why it
I think
people
there's a
suddenly
lot of
dropped
competition
off.
right now.
Like,
There's a lot of
It
competition.
was July, so there would have been no competition.
Sure. I can't.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, then they try to it's not even Professor Layton gender bend. They're trying to make some John where it's like, oh, Layton's missing, and here's this person. I'm like, I would just accept that this is just alternate reality, but whatever.
Sure. I don't play those games for the plot anyhow, even though they are comically insane. Like,
that's what makes them great. Okay?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. So yeah, I didn't realize there's one out for that either. Like, I really did enjoy the first three. I didn't play Ace Attorney crossover, but I liked them because they're really easy to pick up and play. So let us know how that is, man, because I'm curious. I can always use another game for my 3DS because I do carry it around still.
Cool. So, Mike, you been playing anything, or you been stuck doing exams too?
I've been playing this game of the year called Mario Odyssey, and
nice.
Yeah, dude,
nice.
It's pretty
Oh,
lit.
right, yeah, we haven't talked about it because you just started the post game stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm like.
Well, we talked about it last time, remember?
I do mean that. I mean, since because I said to Mike before, it picks up after you beat the game because there's a lot more challenges and whatnot. And
So I'm 500 moons in, and I think I mean we did talk about it before, what I liked about the game and all that stuff. But the post game is so good. I don't know if they can top it. Honestly, I think this is the last Mario ever. Right? That's how good the post game is. It made me question if we were ever gonna have another post game Mario. Right? That's how good the post game is. The next game they have to do is a remake of Super Mario 64. They can't top this post game. So that's it. That's
the way to it. One last question, I guess, Mike. Mega Man 11 thoughts?
Yeah, reaction,
bro. Hell yeah. Freaking cool. Finally. I mean, I love Mega Man. Let's see. I like Mega Man. I like 8 a lot, even though it's terrible. I like 9 and 10 a lot. I like 6 and I like 4. But let's see. 11. I'm kind of hyped, but at the same time, I'm kind of worried. But I am pretty excited for the Switch announcement where you can get all the games. So that'd be pretty dope. I mean, I already own Mega Man collections on my PS2, and maybe they'll re-release the X collections too, even though anything past 5 is poop. But yeah, I'm down. At least Mega Man's alive again. I mean, somewhat. I mean, Bubsy's alive. Why don't we have that game? Right? What are you guys doing?
Yeah, we talked a lot about Mega Man last week. Me and Matt were throwing it back and forth because I'm in the worried but willing to wait and see kind of camp, and Matt's in the like fully enthusiastic like mode.
Well, Matt's
Yeah.
the original Mega Man. Okay?
Yeah, man. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
When I knew Matt, I knew there was two things he liked. One, how
Yep.
he didn't like Majora's Mask, and two, how he liked
So very
Fair
right.
enough. So fair enough. Nice. Yeah, I think we're all in the same boat. Like, kind of wait and see if Mega Man 11 is like. It does look good, but like time will tell. We've barely seen anything yet, so
Yeah.
you know, let's give him a chance.
Word.
All right, and Unoclay. Apparently, we've all been busy this week because Unoclay's getting like a bunch of emails as we speak.
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
gotten to do anything yet?
Work. No, I did play a lot of games this week. Played a lot of Rocket League with some buddies. Like, we're getting a little crew going of my friends locally that have been playing the game, and lots of noobs. Like I'm one of them, you know. So we're like, we go online, we get our butts handed to us, and then we just go back offline and play each other and have a good time and laugh. Because we're all like goofy, like ranging from okay to horrible at it. So it's funny to play because of the physics and everything, even if you're horrible. The bots are really smart, so you can assign bots to your team so you feel like you know how to play the game because your bots are at least able to like confidently be teammates and stuff. And other than one or two times, I can report that Nintendo Switch version of Rocket League's working really well. I had a couple crazy moments where like something went wrong with the server or the connection, and my car just was like spinning through space, like out of control, but like almost hilarious just because it was like in the middle of the match and my car's like anti-gravity flying through the air, like spinning like a top, you know, and I'm like, can anybody else see this? I'm like yelling into my headset, and they're like, no, you look like you're just sitting still. And I'm like, I am not sitting still. I am getting vertigo over here, like flying through the air, like, but like it's good times. It works really well. If you're looking to get Rocket League on Switch, I can recommend it. I played and beat a really satisfying game on NES, a game I just had in my to-do list of carts. It's called Demon Sword. It's not exactly obscure. It's not exactly popular. It's a spiritual sequel to an old arcade game called The Legend of Cage. It's not a direct sequel, but it's like
I've heard that name, but I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, it's got a really generic name, Demon Sword. You're like, what is that? It could be anything. It could be an RPG. It could be anything. I didn't know what it was. I literally bought it for like $10 at a yard sale and was like, I'll just try it. Like, who cares? Like, you know, it actually turned out to be awesome because it's like an arcade hack and slash, like ninja game where you have a sword and throwing stars. It's an old NES game. I beat it after trying to play it like 4 times. Like, let's put it that way. It's not hard. As long as you concentrate and like learn how to play it for a few minutes or whatever, but it's kind of it's like the way Bionic Commando original is. If people know that as a touchstone, Bionic Commando 1 is not a very hard game once you learn how to play it. Like it's a really satisfying game to play through. Like it's just really fun, like Contra or something. Like you're just like, this game's awesome. But you know, like I'd say check it out if you're into old NES games, especially if you ever played Legend of Cage. Which was like a pretty famous old game, and a lot more people will recognize it. Like it's a ninja. Everyone always compares both games really when you look them up online to Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, because the whole game is like leaping through the air, like with ridiculous anime style, like flight jumps, you know, and like tossing ninja stars, you know, at like thousands of enemies, and just knocking through walls of enemies, getting to the bosses, and repeat. I got to Axiom Verge. I downloaded that for Switch.
Nice.
That's
Let me.
Oh, dude, you reminded me. I forgot. I've been playing that young AM2R. I mean, Metroid 2 by Nintendo because they had to take down.
How is it?
It's pretty good. I don't know. I mean, I like the new take on 2D Metroid, but at the same time, I kind of miss out. You know what I mean? I kind of miss it, the simplicity and like the goodness of it. Like it doesn't feel the same. Like wall jumps are not broken anymore, and like her spin jumps, she feels pretty slow. I'm not a big fan of the free aiming thing, and it seems the game is really like important on the uppercut thing. Like it seems like super important. Like even like basic enemies, they destroy me if I'm not using the uppercut. And I'm like, bro, this is the beginning of the game. Like, wow, I need the uppercut so much. So they kind of emphasize it pretty hard. That's all. I mean, I'm not too deep in it, so. Only like
I put that on my Christmas list to my wife, so that could be a stocking stuffer type game I get
nice.
to
Yeah,
play.
it's probably
So
the usual, 10, 20 hours, whatever.
Yeah,
However long you actually want to put into the game.
I'm interested. I'll say that, but I mean, like, I'm tentatively interested and a little worried. So, but yeah, Axiom Verge is definitely like a Metroid clone. It's like a love letter to Metroid One, like, which is why I downloaded it. And I ran straight into a wall of I don't love the controls. They do allow you to customize them, like, completely, like PC emulator style customization, where you can like map any button to anything. But my challenge is that I don't have a Pro controller yet, and using just the Joy-Cons to play Axiom Verge is a real challenge, because the game, at least at the beginning of the game, you don't have rapid fire. You have to literally type every shot that you want to fire, and it's wearing on the hands, to say the least. I already have hand problems that I have to wear like carpal tunnel braces for because of my job, and I can't play it really. Like, that's what I've discovered. I'm like, I need to get a Pro controller to play this, because my thumb is aching from jamming the fire button on my remote. Like, it doesn't feel nice. And otherwise the game looks cool. It's got good music. I mean, I'm a little torn. It's so much like Metroid 1 that it's almost weird. Like, you're like, literally, like, you find things where you expect to on the map, because you know the layout of original Metroid so well, that you go to these areas and you're like, oh, here it is. Here's that weapon. Here's, like, it's kind of weird. And it's like, but the thing is, it's not like it's like a clone or like some ripoff. It's like a tribute. Like, it really is. It's like, but
now, wait, I have one question. There was two things
that
came out that were like tributes to Metroid, like Axiom Verge, and then like another one that was like a Metroidvania type.
Not sure.
That sounds crazy. Unless I know Axiom Verge, but like I thought, Axiom Verge came out like on the Vita first, or am I wrong on that one?
It's on other systems before it came to Switch. I know that it was on Steam.
It was on. Okay, yeah. Then I think I did play this one. Like, I'm gonna double check, because like I remember playing a quote, ode to Metroid 1, and I'm like, is it this one? I want to make sure, because otherwise then like I know what you're talking about, because like there's just like that feel when you're playing this game. You're like, if I do like just say a missile to this wall, like there's probably something here, right? You just kind of did it, and you're like, holy shit! Like, I was just doing it.
It's so ridiculously like Metroid that it's like, I'm gonna enjoy playing it once I get a better control setup to play it, because I tried playing it with the grip, and I kind of hate the grip. Like, I don't like how wide it is, like, in your hands.
That's
like,
weird.
I just don't.
I think it's too small. I'm like, this thing isn't wide enough, and you honestly probably have bigger hands than I do, which is why.
I got the hugest hands. I got the hugest hands, dude. Don't worry about my hands. They're perfectly adequate.
Wait. I found my fake Metroid game. I played Zero Drifter.
Zeo Drifter. Yeah, that game's great. I like Zeo Drifter a lot. Like, it's
that was the one I played. I was like, I remember they both came out at like the same time.
It's not quite. Zeo Drifter is more original from what I've seen so far. Like, it's very like Metroid. It's very short, because I beat it in like a day or something like that. But I liked it. But I think Axiom Verge is a bit bigger, and is a little more Metroid-y even. Like, just like really, really, really Metroid-y. Like, you're just like,
yeah. No, I've heard that. I've heard that. I just know that Zeo Drifter was like, hey, here's like a indie kind of like take on it. Like, I feel like Axiom Verge is like a legit like.
Zeo Drifter is more like
Metroid.
Yeah, Zeo Drifter is more like a cartoony version of Metroid. Like, they almost like made it a little like more, like a little more animated and a little more 8-bitty than Zeo Drifter. Zeo Drifter is like if Metroid was more like on almost a Super Nintendo version of the original Metroid, sort of like a All Stars or something like that.
Reminds me of Mutant Mudds, the art style.
Yeah,
a little bit. And then I remember looking at Axiom Verge, and I got like a realistic kind of
it is. It's pretty dark. It's pretty brutal. The music's great. I'd say I'm liking it, but I can't review it fully. But I'd say if you're looking for a Metro game, the reviews do not lie. It is basically a Metroid game, just with a different universe. And like the story, I'm not sure what the story is doing. I don't want to say anything about it. It's not a Metroid story, from what I can tell so far. It's a completely different story.
Mother Brain isn't back at it again?
I don't know. I don't know. I can't say anything to that. But it's a male protagonist, first of all, and it's like and it's pretty much one of your stories of like you don't know what's happening. It just the game just starts and it's kind of like, wait, what's happening, kind of thing.
Oh,
But
there's no like log. You know how like you would collect stuff in Zelda. Zelda. In
yes.
Samus, like where you get like those data entries. They don't have that.
There's a little bit of that so far, but it's more like you just like this explosion happens and you wake up and you're in this world and you're like, what's going on? So it's kind of like that. You're kind of exploring and finding out like what happened.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't say too much. I'm not too far into it. So anyway, it's a cool game. I'll review it more once I get a better way to play it on a better controller. And my only other update is we've all gone back and forth about ARMS and whether ARMS is a good or a bad game. And I caved in today. Well, I think it's a good game that's not nearly deep enough for the price point. Like that would be my more review. I think it's a good game in a way. But listen, I'm itching to buy either Skyrim or Doom or the new Mario. And I was like, I can't justify buying another game at $60 if I'm not going to get rid of one of the games I don't play. And I looked at old ARMS and I put it on eBay for $40 this afternoon, and it sold in 1 minute. So if you're sitting there,
I can't believe people want that. I would have been like, bro, you got a deal for $40 Monopoly dollars. Right?
Yeah, I felt like getting $40 for it was a pretty good deal because that means I can get. I'm no Eli here. I'm not making them pay me. You do it.
I thought you were Eli with that transaction. That's pretty Eli.
No, Eli, you'd be making them pay you to play Skyrim somehow, but like
I'd get a refund,
but
from everyone.
The guy would have been like, "Here's Mario Odyssey, Skyrim, and Doom for your ARMS," and you'd be like, "All right, whatever, man. I guess I could do it. I guess."
I thought about waiting to talk to Eli. I'd be like, Eli, what would you do in this situation? And like, get your deeds. But like, I thought when I looked at the auctions and where the auctions were landing for what people were paying for it, I thought I'll just put it a little higher than the most current auctions and see if I get it. Maybe I should have put it even higher. You know what I mean? But like, hey, I'll call it a win because I got $20 worth of fun out of ARMS. Like, and I can always rebuy it Eli style, like sometime, like, on some crazy, like backdoor, like Amazon link deal or something like that, So I love you. I've just busted. I love hearing your tales of like game flipping, like so. But I figured like if they ever give it enough content, or I'm just itching to play it, I can always rebuy it. No biggie. Get a used copy for the same amount I paid for it. That I got back for it. And maybe it'll drop in price eventually, anyhow, because Switch is not short on games. And eventually people are going to figure out ARMS is not that deep of a game. And I have a feeling the price will drop a little bit more. So, I'm not worried about it. I had fun with it, but I just never, ever play it. And it's not the game's fault entirely. There's a lot of competition for my time. And, it's like I did enjoy the times I've played it. I felt a little sad putting it in the envelope and shipping it off. It was like, I was like, you were fun. I liked what you're trying to do here. It's just, you need more. You're not quite a Splatoon yet. You're a wannabe Splatoon experience, like where the core mechanic isn't quite good enough to keep me hooked. So
fair enough. All right, so I think that'll be a good time to wrap up, or not wrap up, to move on to some quick announcements.
For sure.
I guess just one, because I already brought up the Zelda DLC before. But speaking of Splatoon, it's getting a new mode tonight called Clam Blitz. It's the one where you have like the football in it. There's a lot to it, so I won't bother explaining the whole thing. But
wait, I don't know about this. Honestly, could you give a nutshell? I don't know about it.
Sure.
Being genuine.
Yeah.
Maybe you should pay attention.
Honestly,
Yeah,
I didn't even.
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, I just saw a trailer like a couple hours ago or whatever, and I only watched part of it. But basically, there's clams on the field, and you collect, I don't know, like 10 of them or something like that. And when you have 10, you can get like a power clam or whatever, which turns your clams into like a football. And you throw this football at like some ball hanging in the arena, and it breaks this barrier to this giant ball in the sky. And then you can throw your clams in there to gain points. It's really weird, but I don't know, it should be fun. We'll have to play it and report on it.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I didn't know there was an update coming. I remember hearing there were going to be new modes, but I hadn't seen any follow-up on it. Like, I've been playing a little bit more Splatoon lately. I am abysmal. at what's the good new mode? Salmon Run.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like when they
Run
give you the
too.
wrong when they give you the salmon, when they give you the bad weapons like that I'm not good with, like I can't do it. Like I'm terrible. Like I'm just embarrassed. I'm at like C minus or C plus B minus level, and like me and the team are failing like every time. And I'm like, this is insane how bad we are at this, but I still have fun. It's weird. Like, so I've been playing a little bit more the last couple of days. I've been jumping back on it, like getting a little bit more of Splatoon. So that's interesting. So it sounds a little bit like Rainmaker mode, only the Rainmaker, you're not fighting over it. No, it's kind of like a base. You're attacking a base.
Yeah,
like,
it's really weird.
sorta.
I'm not sure if there's like multiple whatever balls in the field or if there's just one everyone goes to. It seems kind of, I guess, basketball would make the most sense. But let's say the net has a barrier.
Okay.
It seems
because
that seems like the closest comparison I can think of off the top of my head.
Because Rainmaker, you have to break the barrier on the Rainmaker, but then you run. That's like football, like because then you have to run the football to the end zone. So, yeah, okay,
Yeah, you're right.
Interesting. I'll have to check it out. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
I'd say I'm a big fan of Splatoon, even if I don't play it as much as I should. Like, so that's awesome. That sounds cool. I just gotta get better. Like, I'm just no good at it anymore. I'm just ridiculous. Like how silly bad I am at it a lot of times. Just getting. I gotta learn new weapons. I just use the same gun again and again because it's all I'm comfortable with, and I should really try to branch out a little bit. Maybe I'd be a more diverse player, but I don't know.
Oh well,
Neat.
That's what Salmon Run is for.
Yeah, Salmon Run is teaching me that I suck with the bucket. I suck with all these dumb guns that only shoot one bullet at a time. I suck with the roller. I suck with the sniper. Like I've learned it.
But do you suck with the umbrella?
I've never even used it. Like I literally
That's how
never
much you
used the
suck at
umbrella.
it. You haven't even bothered. You're like,
I probably would. Actually, I'm not terrible with a sniper. I was like playing with the sniper the night, and I was like helping the team like
Nice.
more than normal with the sniper. So I was like, all right, I get it. Like in Salmon Run, this is fun because some of those enemies, like the sniper, is invaluable if he stands back, and like some of those certain, which bosses are the really deadly ones. The sniper can really be like an invaluable asset. So that was, but all the rest of it, good God, I'm just embarrassing. I'm just like, I don't get why you'd ever want to use a gun that only shoots one bullet every second. I'm like, what is the point of this? This is impossible. Like this is not fun. Like
yeah, I guess depends on what mode you're playing. Because if you're playing like a regular match where you have to paint the floor, it wouldn't be great. But if you're playing another one where I forget all the modes, but some of the modes you want to like actually kill the other people faster, so it might be good for that.
I still want my dualies, or I still want my fast little splatter guns. No way, I can't take it. I'm like, I hate this. I'm like, I feel like my gun is broken. I'm just like, come on, shoot faster. Like, come on. Anyhow.
Cool.
All right.
So let's move on to some news. This first one, I guess, will probably be quick. The Nintendo Switch has sold 10 million units, and apparently is selling as fast as the PS4 did during its time. So, good stuff there. Let's see how it goes. It's kind of funny because it's probably going to outsell the Wii U's whole life cycle in a year.
That's crazy.
Sad.
Eli, I think I saw you make a comment on Twitter about this. Like you seem dutifully impressed over the sales.
Yeah, no, because I remember before it came out, I predicted like 6 to 8 million, and I'm like, all right, I can't imagine. People I've been talking to aren't really going to be buying a Switch. I'm looking at the hype, and there was a lot of hype for the Wii U too. I'm not seeing anything particularly different this time around. So I tweeted, and I'm like, all right, I was wrong. I admit it. Switch took off. Now, I think the important thing is going to be to see how whether sales would all fall off next year, because I think a lot of people that are buying I think a lot of people that are buying the Switch right now are people who are already Nintendo fans and probably already like would have bought a system that wasn't the Wii U. Mm-hmm. I have a professor I work with who picked up the Switch, and he's a gamer. He just didn't buy the Wii U. He has an Xbox One though at home. I know other people that have picked it up that are just generally Nintendo fans, kind of coming home. I think because of that, the Switch has like a built-in base of say 50 to 60 million in sales off of these people who are just Nintendo fans naturally. Maybe bought the 3DS or the Wii or the whatever N64. But I don't know how much further, because you got like these circles, right? The innermost circle of the most hardcore Nintendo fans, which are going to buy anything. And you got like the outer circle, like the next circle out, which is like Nintendo fans that'll buy cool Nintendo products, but not necessarily every Nintendo product, which is, I think, we're looking at the 50 million, 60 million range. And then you got like the big circle, the big ocean, right? Or strategy of the Wii,
the
or
blue ocean.
the blue, my bad, blue ocean. And
Yep.
so when you're looking at that, you're like, I'm not sure yet. I'm not sold that your grandma or your uncle is going to be picking it up or whatever.
It's hard to say on on that market, but if like that, what like you're kind of like lumping in the like the bigger circle. There's another way I would look at the way you termed it. Like I know you're just kind of off the cuff, like lumping people into groups, like. So not nitpicking. The other circle, or another way to look at one of the circles, is gamers who tend to buy the other consoles the most, but are like bi curious when it comes to Nintendo. They're just like, well, I don't buy Nintendo because Nintendo usually sucks. It's not like they're Nintendo fans exactly. It's more like they're people who came up on Sony.
Maybe.
Or they came up on Sony or Xbox and they're jaded, but they're not like haters. So it's like they're almost like this other group. They're not exactly Nintendo fans, but that's the group where I think a lot of the sales are coming from and will continue to come from, because for once Nintendo's not fucking up. Excuse my language. I'm just ruining our rating on this podcast. Nintendo is not screwing it up. And those are the jaded people that, like, if they get convinced it's like that Nintendo's not something lame to buy, they're gonna be the big sales numbers. It's not the grandmas. It's and frankly, those people are way more important than the grandmas. They're the people that are going to support it and buy games for it, not just Odyssey.
Yeah, and I mean, looking realistically at this, right? Like, we accept that most of the money they make is off the games, not the consoles. So if the system sells 60 million units, that's, first of all, a huge success, especially compared to what the Wii U is selling. But that still means their games. I mean, you got Mario, Zelda, and Mario Kart all with an attach rate of higher than 50%. I mean, if you scale that to 60 million in sales and drop the attach rate a little bit because not as hardcore people are buying, you're still looking at potentially 10 to 20 million in sales for a lot of these games.
Money.
So
that's
where the money's coming in.
That's money. We're gonna have to redo the GIF, that really famous GIF of it prints money for the DS. Like, it's gonna have to be redone for Switch, like in a year or two, if this keeps up, because it's just like, holy cow! Like, it's the one thing that it said in the Forbes article I sent you guys in the link earlier, because Forbes had even written this up. That was like an article about Switch and how well it's selling and how crazy how it's matching PS4. But the one quote from the writer was, he's like, and the next Pokemon game is slated to come out for the system. If that doesn't move consoles, I don't know what will. And it's like, I got kind of the chills from that. I was like, yeah. And this is someone coming from the outside of Nintendo land, where it's like, even Pokemon sells systems. That's amazing. Like, because you're absolutely right. Like, how many people don't own it yet, but played Pokemon Go, and then they're going to see commercials and hear about this Pokemon game that's like reinventing the wheel for this new console that everybody's talking about. That's going to sell consoles. That's we point to Smash, but the real story is like, Mario Kart and Pokemon. Like of a gauge of a system for Nintendo in a lot of ways. So yeah, neat stuff. It's good times.
That'll be nuts if they actually have it released in like November, December next year.
Yeah,
like
that'll be
a winter release.
Yeah. And if they could get anywhere near the quality of what they've done with Mario and Zelda to like reinvent the wheel, or just come out with the topmost of shelf games for a series that everybody already loves, like where it's like the news story this year has been, can you believe Nintendo did it again with Zelda and Mario after all this time? 2 games that you've played to death on every console ever, and you're almost tired of hearing about sometimes. And then they do it again, and you're just like, never count Nintendo out. Just like it's like we're always saying on this fanboy podcast here, don't count them out, And it's like, if they could do that with Pokemon and do something even remotely new and good, or just like release, you guys are the Pokemon experts. I don't know what they bring to the series that you guys would be looking for that wouldn't be just another iteration of the existing formula, but I know occasionally Pokemon does veer off into these other experiments. But if they could do something like Zelda Breath of the Wild or a Mario Galaxy, Mario 64 into Odyssey type experience, like bam, even I'd want to watch videos of that. I'd be like, no more of this Pokken tournament stuff. Like, I want to see Pokemon like the way you guys play it. Like go kaboom in the same way. I hope.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
Mike,
that will be cool.
You're clicking is very loud.
Hey, Mike, could you put the microphone in your keyboard next week? It'd be
Oh, of course, man. Of course. It's funny, I moved you guys closer to my keyboard inadvertently, man. I was super subconscious. I was like, oh crap. Like you were literally right on top of my keyboard.
What else is in the news besides amazing sales for Nintendo?
Alright, so the real news of this week is Ryan Reynolds is playing Detective Pikachu.
Oh my god, stop the presses.
That's what we need, baby.
So apparently there were like 4 people aiming for this role. There was Hugh Jackman, which is weird. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, which is in Bloody Everything. Sorry, but I'm glad he's not in it. I'm tired of seeing his face. I don't even see that many movies, but I'm just tired of seeing his face.
He doesn't even look like Pikachu.
Yeah, and Mark Wahlberg, which I think actually would have been pretty funny. Just the way Mark Wahlberg is.
Oh, I didn't know this. I didn't know there were all these people vying for this job. And Danny DeVito, we all know. But I mean,
he's like, what the hell's a Pikachu?
Yeah, what the hell's a Pikachu?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
so it would. Eli will get this more, but it'd be funny if he showed up as a cameo appearance as like one of the poison or garbage Pokemon, and he's like, "I'm the trash man."
Yeah.
It'd be great. Unoclay. Well, yeah. Trubbish mug, whatever.
I wish I had more to contribute on this. I think Deadpool was hilarious. I don't know what you guys have always imagined Pikachu would sound like if he could talk. I loved the meme as an outsider of the idea of Danny DeVito being Pikachu because for some reason that is hilarious, even as someone who doesn't play Pokemon. And I'm like, yeah, that's funny. That gruff little old man like grumbling along as Pikachu would be friggin' funny enough that I would see the movie, and Deadpool is really funny, so like I don't know what I mean. Does Deadpool / Ryan Reynolds sound like what you imagine Pikachu to talk like? Because to me he's like,
I mean, like when Pikachu talks, I usually think I'm like, oh, this is Deadpool, guys. Don't even worry about it.
He's got knives up his tail, just ready to stab someone.
I was like, he has to hold back, for the kids sometimes. Pikachu's a very gruff kind of guy. That's why Danny DeVito is considered.
Sorry to get all technical and dumb, but this is like it's not like Ash's Pikachu or whatever. It's like a different character. It's just also a Pikachu, but he does have like his own personality apparently in like the game, which got rated for Europe recently. So I guess we'll get that at some point after like 5 years or whatever. But it's like the Danny DeVito thing is funny because it actually would have worked as like this gruff New York jaded detective guy. Because he, from like what I've heard, he's kind of like that in the game. This would have been hilarious.
What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
That would be funny, man. That would have been. Yeah, now I wish Danny DeVito got it.
I know. That would have been great.
But why did everybody want to be Detective Pikachu?
Because it'll make them buckets of money, probably.
I see.
I think he'll do well. I think Unoclay mostly wanted to bring this up because he was going crazy about it in the chat.
Oh man, I just am excited for you guys. Like, I cannot believe that there is a Pikachu detective. Like, first, it's just like when you're not a Pokemon player, you feel like whatever your parents think of you guys when they hear you talk about Pokemon, because you're like, what are you talking about? Like, little Pikachu, the little lightning bolt mouse, is going to be a detective now? Like, how's that possible? That just sounds crazy. And then it's like,
a commercial thing to be like, yo, look at that.
Yeah, and then the idea that Danny DeVito, everyone was petitioning. I was like dying over that, and I'm like, I just love this idea in this world that I would get to see this. This would be funnier than Bill Murray as Garfield. Like this is just like oh, this is gonna be awesome just because it's so stupid. Like I want to see this happen. But given that Deadpool is really funny, I mean, thinking of what Deadpool sounds like to me, does not sound what I imagine Pikachu to sound like. But hey, if it makes you guys happy, I'm happy for you. I can say that. It's like when you go to a wedding of two people you think shouldn't get married, you got to say something nice. You're like,
Oh
if
gosh.
this makes you happy, I wish you the best.
I know that feeling. Oh gosh. Good thing they don't listen to this podcast.
Don't breed. I hope you do well.
Oh man.
Yeah. So anyway,
I don't feel that harshly, but to lay it out there.
Let's just be honest.
Sure
like please don't do the nasty. Like, it's gonna look ugly. Like, your children are going to be horrific. Like, they're gonna be bad people like you. Like, have you? Is it just me? It's just me. Okay, it's just me.
All right, let's move on. That movie apparently comes out in 2019. But moving along, Capcom apparently wants to port more games to Switch. Apparently, ones that weren't on Nintendo consoles. I tried to find out some that weren't. And I just basically went to like a comment section because that's much easier and they'll have more knowledge. I don't know. I scrolled through and a lot of them were repeating. I don't know. Haven't heard of most of these games or played them. So I don't know if they're any good. I'm sure Unoclay must have heard of or played at least some of these. I know Power Stone. That's about it from this one list. Have you played any of these games, Uno?
I'm looking at the list here. Is this the list? Like,
I mean, they're just like somewhat potential games.
These are not games I'm familiar with. No.
Oh, okay.
Like, none of these. Like,
so I guess...
yeah. Some of the names sound kind of familiar, like Power Stone or Vampire Chronicles, but those names are so generic that I'm like, I don't know what that is. These don't sound like classic Capcom game that I'm familiar with. They're certainly not famous NES games that I'm familiar with or anything like that. So maybe they are, and I'm just, a big loser.
Yeah.
I can't say.
So here in Capcom, we don't give a crap. No. Well, who knows? It might not be games that were never on Nintendo consoles. It could have just been like weren't on. Actually, no, that I don't know what I'm saying.
I took it to mean I didn't read any specific news headlines about that. I heard it kind of floating through the internet, so I never researched it. But I heard this blurb that was what was going to maybe happen. They're talking about it, but I took that in things like Resident Evil games that have never been on a console, for instance, for an example, for what I want, like basically like Resident Evil 5 and 6, whether or not they're good, or even 7, being a different debate, but like I took it differently. I didn't think it meant series that have never been on Nintendo. I just thought they meant generally games because they've been abandoning Nintendo pretty bad lately. And I mean, that's a good example because Resident Evil Revelations 2 is now on Switch, a game I really want to play at some point. And I was thinking more in that line that they're saying, well, we've been pretty deficient with our input for a while for Nintendo. So, anything's on the table is kind of the take here. And for me, it's like, please God, give us Resident Evil 7. I've heard 5 and 6 weren't that great, so I don't really care about continuity. I would just play 7 because I heard it's a pretty great game. Even though I won't get to play it in VR, which would scare me so bad I'd probably have a mild heart attack, like literally for real. So probably better that I don't play it in VR or something like that, But I do love those games because I've been playing them forever. So I feel shunned by them in the last couple of years. So the games on the list for the listeners who can't see the list we're talking about are like things like Tech Romancer, Project Justice, Plasma Sword, Power Stone. Like, I just don't know these titles. Ring of Destruction, Vampire Chronicles. Like, they're so generic, these titles, and it's
like NES level titles.
Yeah,
where we had games such as golf.
yeah, that's true. I'm looking up like Vampire Chronicles, for instance, right now. What is that? Like, let's see what my computer says. The Vampire Chronicle. No, that's there. I'm getting all kinds of hits for a series of books.
That's why you got to put game after the end of.
Yeah, like it's so for some reason, no, I'm still not getting any hits, Matt. Where did this list come from?
Someone just posted.
That made it up. Don't worry, Ben.
Yeah,
right. No, someone just posted like a bunch of game titles in like the comments section, so I just
Okay.
just took it as is.
Okay.
But no, that's a good point you brought up. I meant that's what I was trying to bring up, but failed to put into words.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably more the case. And
Plasma
apparently,
is a game that they released on Dreamcast, for instance. That one came up. Like, so that's a Dreamcast fighting game, it looks like. So, yeah, yawn.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Apparently, Capcom was playing pretty conservatively before, saying they weren't really fully on board with Switch, which was only like the end of October, and now they're like, yeah, we're good. I don't know why the turnaround was that quick.
Well,
or whatever.
It's tough. I mean, running a big company like that, you have to make a decision way in advance, like 2 years ago. Are you going to support the Switch or are you going to not? And
Sure.
We all knew Nintendo wasn't giving a lot of details to people about what Switch was very far in advance.
Well, I mean that,
So
but I mean like the statement before was like 2 months ago they said they weren't fully on board, and then now they say they do. It's like, okay, I don't think much changed. Well, I guess Mario Odyssey, but I mean this console was still selling well between then. Whatever.
Yeah.
Weird, but
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. I'm all for it. I'm all for these big companies. Like, I know a lot. It's sometimes hipster popular to hate on the big companies like that. You know, like the Ubis and the Capcoms and the Konamis of the world. You know, like these days with
You
the
have to
retro
hide it.
revolution.
You can poke fun at Mike right now if you really want.
Yeah, no. I'm not entirely Mike. It's very common. You know, like to feel that way these days is the best way I can put it. But for me, it's like this would, you know, it's not. I didn't believe this would happen. Coming into this whole Switch thing, my take has always been is like all Nintendo needs to do is get indies and be Nintendo, and they could be a solid competitor. I didn't expect it to turn this quickly, where it's like the big guns are like looking at Switch and saying, "Oh, wait a second, yeah, actually, after a while, we mean to bring some of our franchises to this console." You know, like this is crazy. Like to me, that I'm like the idea that I could realistically expect maybe the next Resident Evil game to appear on a Nintendo console and it'll come back home, you know, to me, come back home. So, well, actually, no, Resident Evil technically isn't coming back home since it started on PlayStation, but it was on Nintendo for a long period of time before they abandoned ship. So, things like that, you know, like I'm psyched, you know, and Capcom's really getting into it, you know, with the Mega Man, with this other stuff, you know, so it's good news all around. Even if this list of obscure titles you're talking about is maybe what they're leaning toward, like more like the way they're releasing all the Neo Geo classics and stuff on Switch. Like, okay, it's still something. I'm not mad about it. It's, you know, am I going to care that they release some obscure game like, you know, from their back catalog from Dreamcast onto Switch? No, I'm never going to buy it. But if they think there's a market for it there, you know, who knows? It's hard to really read it right now. Maybe there is a market for it, and I'm just not that market because there's going to be such a big install base. That retro Dreamcast fan out there is going to be like, holy cow, you know, I can't believe this game is here, you know, like, and I can play it on a modern console. So
yeah. Well, cool. And then the final news bit. I know Mike has been waiting for this forever. It's his favorite series. Bayonetta is getting a third game. Mike, how excited are you?
Mike, give us an alternate
Mike
title.
Mike is so excited he had a heart attack and passed out. We'll find out next episode.
Left the cast.
That's how excited he is.
I for one, am very excited.
Are you being genuine?
Quote me on that. Yeah, I am. I love Bayonetta.
Awesome.
Played the first and second game on Wii U.
Awesome.
Good stuff.
Awesome. Matt, what about you? Like, what's your take? I don't know. I can't remember what you thought of Bayonetta. I can't quite bring it to mind.
They're great games. The first one is hard to start with first because the second is a lot better combat-wise and everything else, and it's hard to go backwards.
I remember now.
Mistake. But no, the second one was actually really great. It'll be. I'll await the third one. I don't think it'll disappoint.
It's funny because like now I haven't played part 2 yet. I have it. I got thanks to Mike. We all know, everyone who's been listening a long time. Mike live on the podcast tuned me into a store that had one copy of the limited edition double disc release for Wii U. I went and bought it. I played through 1, loved it. It was awesome. It's hilarious. Haven't played 2 yet because I just felt like I had enough of it after playing 1, so I needed a break. But now when they announce this, it's definitely back on my radar that I'm like, well, that game's not coming out till next year. This is a great time for me to at some point to pop in 2 now and play it, like, because now it's been many, many, many months since I played any Bayonetta, and like, this is neat. Like, I'm excited for it. Like, I do have that feeling of like, do I really need another game in the exact same genre with if if they don't change it too much? Am I going to be a day one buyer for Bayonetta 3? Probably not, but am I sad it's coming, or will I never play it? Certainly not saying that either. I would want to see, because Matt, you've pretty clearly outlined, you as you just said, and I remember now when you had talked about it originally, you had said you thought 2 is just so much definitively better that 1 is almost like skippable to some degree. Well, I would want to, I haven't played 2 yet, but I would want to see them innovate more, because 1, I get it. I get the mechanics. I get what it is. It's, it's that Devil May Cry combo system type action battle, fun. It's fun. It's really, really ridiculous comboing, really high bar of achievement that you can like work for. And I find that fun. I'm not good enough to like get those ridiculous scores and platinum it or anything like that. But like, I enjoy playing it nevertheless, and getting those occasional silvers and golds and stuff like that on some of the levels and things like that. But I'd want to see them do something a little more new, because if 2 is really more the same with like a little bit better, like I could see myself wearing out in the formula and being like, this is neat, like action, hack and slash, combo system, etc. Funny cutscenes, really funny Deadpool-esque cutscenes, in fact, fourth wall breaking constantly, all that kind of stuff. Like, I like it all. It's a great recipe. Just like, don't play it safe. I'd say do something new, add to the franchise if they're going to do a third one, and they're going to go to this trouble to produce it and fund it. Give us something new. Don't just play it safe. Like, I mean, Bayonetta 2 was well received, but that's a great way to kill a franchise. Like if you just keep doing the same thing. So I want to see more. I want to know more about it. Like I want to hear what they're gonna why buy Bayonetta 3 other than that it's an exclusive again. So, but good on them. Good on them. They must have felt like the responses were positive enough from part 2 to keep going with the license. So it's good stuff.
And both the first and second are coming to Switch now, so that should help it for sure.
That's a good thing, because like there's a lot of people who probably missed out on replaying 1 because they couldn't get that really limited edition.
The thing was, it was also exclusive like to the Wii U, and most people didn't own the Wii U anyway. So it's like there's a lot of people who didn't have it, because there's going to be people who bought the Switch that didn't bother with the Wii U, whether they're Nintendo fans or not, and most people complaining weren't. So I think a lot of those people who were complaining it was exclusive will actually like be able to buy it now.
Yeah, they should. That's a great point. They should definitely have some kind of like bonus deal too when they release it, like for all 3 games, where like just to get the fan service like kind of aspect of the sales going, where it's like so many people rebuy games these days. I'm always blown away by it. Well, I'm like, oh my god, how much money do people have, to buy a game, that they already have? And like, if they just play their cards right there and figure out that right price point for all 3 games, and say like, well, you can either buy the new one for $65 or you can pay what? I don't know, make up a number. What's the right price point? $85, $90? Yeah. I don't know. That sounds too cheap for 3.
There's like a weird bundle thing again for the 1 and 2, like there was on the Wii U, where I think if you buy 2 alone, it's $50, and then you get a discount on the first one, and it'll be a total of $60. And then if you just buy the first one by itself, it's $30, and then it'll discount the second to another $30. So if you buy both, it'll discount it, so it's always $60. But if you just want one or the other, they're different prices. So they still have like some kind of deal.
That could be them setting up for what I'm saying, because that's already pretty cheap that they're giving you both. I mean, it was already a great deal when you bought 2 that you got 1 with it. That was just an amazing deal, and why I was super psyched to get it. I was like, wow, these games are extremely popular and enormous. Like, so even if I hate these, the fact that it was rare and the replayability of it like meant I could resell it no matter what. I was like, okay, this is awesome. Like I'm super excited about this. Then it turned out to be a game I really like and enjoyed, and like I could see them setting it up. Like if they're already willing to discount one to such a drastic degree, given that it's an older game and it's been on other consoles, you know, it's like, okay, like that could be a really good sign that like when they release this, they say for $90, you know, you get all three, you know, like here you go, like you get a download code for 1 and 2, and here's your copy of 3 or something like that. So neat. That's good stuff.
And I guess 1 or 2 last things to add. Kamiya, the guy, the director or the creator or whatever of Bayonetta, has pointed out some things before about if he made a third one, what he would want to do. So you can find that stuff online. One of them was having a male Bayonetta. Another one was just not having Bayonetta and having a new character. So we'll see what happens. Some people are saying Bayonetta. Yeah, some people are saying Bayonetta got killed in the trailer and Unoclay dropped out. So me talking is useless. Unoclay, to reiterate, the creator said some ideas about Bayonetta 3, and one of them was either a male Bayonetta or just cutting out Bayonetta and having a new character. So he definitely wants to do something different. We'll see what happens. The new color is purple, so I mean that's already a new change.
I can only say I really don't want to see like a male Bayonetta in like leather pants jumping around making sex jokes about his dick. Like, I mean, I'm all happy for the ladies in the audience that you're going to get your fill, but sign me not up. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, oh God, like a Chippendale dancer flying through the sky, like taking off his clothes. Like I get it. Like, you know, it would be fair to the women. I'll be back for Bayonetta 4.
If you make it Deadpool, it would be fine. But
yeah, oh my God, that's a great idea. I mean, what if Platinum Games made a Deadpool game? That would be amazing.
I don't think they made it, but someone did make a Deadpool game.
Okay, because just I'm thinking of the sass and the like the way that I had never made that connection before we were just talking here, just because of the confluence of the Pikachu news and the Bayonetta news, like that, like they would be the perfect studio to make a great Deadpool game, you know, like if it hasn't already been done, just because the way Bayonetta is, that it's like, oh man, like it's exactly the same template of humor.
The funny thing is, there's Smash Bros mods, and someone made a mod for Bayonetta that just replaces her with Deadpool.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay,
it works so well.
Oh, so yeah, cool. Absolutely. That's super funny. I did not know that. I'll have to look that up. That's hilarious.
All right. Mike, have you come out of your catatonic state?
He's so mad that he can't type. He just like went to sleep.
He raged himself to sleep, yeah.
He's still showing his here, but I don't know. He's not
typing in his sleep somehow. So that pro gamer always practicing. Pro gamer Mike. Oh man,
what's up?
he's alive.
My low, you guys have your fading. I keep getting like the doo doo doo.
So Mike, before we sign off, how excited are you for your favorite franchise, Bayonetta, coming back for a third game?
Give us a taste.
I don't even acknowledge that trash. All right, it's not even worth even any time for me to look at right now.
And he's back, folks.
I was contemplating hanging up. Right? The second that was uttered out of someone's mouth. All right.
Mike,
first off, I'll say it every time. Bayonetta ruined Smash. Second off, it isn't a Nintendo party, but we clearly see what happened. Nintendo bought out the money just so they could have more quote mature games and sold out to do shit like that. All right, freaking disgusting. All right, disgusting. All right, so how dare Bayonetta even get a game on the Switch? Okay, before my boys Banjo-Kazooie and before my boys.
I mean, they did
Mario,
sort of.
Okay, come on, it's ridiculous.
I mean, like, I agree with you about the Smash thing. We've been up and down that road. I think she sucks as a Smash character. She's OP. It sucks. Like, she's just not. She doesn't fit. Fill in the blank with everything.
She doesn't fit. It's terrible.
I totally agree with that. Like, I've never bought her as a result. I don't own complete Smash because of that. Like, it's like whatever. But I want to test our game show theory. Real quick, Meg. Give us a funny alternate title for Bayonetta.
See how hard that is? I mean, the only things I came up with Smellanetta or
Smellanetta.
or just straight crap. I just couldn't think of anything. God doesn't even deserve a funny quip. Alright, answers, man. It's not what I want. It's not what the people want. Alright, they're like, let's cater to the 20 people who bought this game and think they want it. Alright,
Fair enough.
Man.
We'll work on the game show. We'll give you some softballs when we do it. It'll be
thanks, man. You gotta give me like easy ones. Like Pokemon is just like easy Pokemans, even with an A and Z. Alright, because it's
God.
Cool, man. What the kids like, alright? The kids like the Z's, man.
Them kids like their Z's.
Oh man, great stuff. So I think we'll wrap it up there this week. You can find me at the Mango Viking on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Eli, where can people find you?
Find me on Twitter at Palasolana, writing at NintendoEnthusiast.com, and that's about it for now.
Cool. And Mike, where can people find you?
Hi guys, find me TroyFB on Twitter or Troy Fullbuster on Twitch or Gaming Night Live. Yeah. Find those things.
Cool.
And like them.
Definitely. And
yeah, you live and grinding boys' butts, bro. I know.
I'm grinding all the time, bro. It's all we do up here.
I know what you do, boys' butts.
I thought you weren't into male Bayonetta, and now you're watching Mike grind boys' butts. What the heck?
Dude, he spams me with emails every day.
Why do we want this lame, fake Deadpool, freaking Devil May Cry, same crap like always? All right, he's speaking the truth, and I was like, preach on, brother, preach on. All right?
Gotcha.
Thank you. All right, but if you buy Bayonetta 3, I'm skipping that podcast. The Bayonetta 3 podcast.
In advance. He's just no honest.
I'll make like 5 different anonymous accounts and be like, yo, Smellanetta, you guys know jack shit about Nintendo. Then report your ass.
Well, that was some good ranting.
Right.
At least we got that out of the way for the year.
Yeah, I had to get it out before the year ended. You know, it just bundles up. All right, but yeah, I'm working on a Mario goatee video, so that's probably my next rant on the tube. If you guys want to check that out later.
Awesome.
It'll be up soon, probably like next week or something.
Cool.
Awesome.
Stay tuned for that. And
yeah. It's not a rant. It's all good things. But then if I had to talk about Breath of the Wild, then
Stay tuned.
All right. And Unoclay, where can people find you?
I am, as ever, your loyal Unoclay_Switch on Twitter. That's Unoclay_Switch. You can get my friend code for my actual Switch from my profile there. Send me a friend request. I keep getting a few here and there, and I appreciate that. And I like having friends to play games with, or at least see what y'all are playing. So feel free to hit me up. And I look forward to talking more games in the new year.
Cool. So wherever you're listening, you can find us at Just Another Castle on basically every platform on the internet. Hit us up with your questions, or if you're interested in being a guest, message me on Twitter at the Mango Viking or at Just Another Castle. So until next time, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and leave gaming to Nintendo.
Oh, hello. I know, right? Whose balls did I have to fondle to get my very own movie?